So Rheinmetall has this new tank. Is this guy on the market yet? What's going on there? Can I buy this? Does the German military have this tank? Like, what's going on there in real life? Is it still in development, or
the KF51 Panther?
Is it like a video game and they just announced a trailer yet, or
taking place on the 12th of October in 2022 during the AUSA exhibition in Washington D.C. General Dynamics Land Systems, or GLDS,
I can't respect this tank then.
Also revealed its new generation of main battle tank with greater firepower, protection, and mobility to confront all new threats in the modern combat zone, the Abrams X. Both MBTs are the latest members in their
So that's like the best tanks we have like in the world right now.
And in this video,
and they probably shit on
the
Russia after what we've just seen.
K51 Panther and the Abrams X.
Go look at my dick, man.
The K51 Panther pioneers a completely new
MBT
concept that was developed from the ground up utilizing the most current technology, setting new standards in lethality.
Germany was developing a tank cooperative with France, but Rheinmetall withdrew and wants to do their own shit.
Protection, networking, reconnaissance, and mobility. Similarly, the Abrams X is...
It would be cool, look, I'm an idiot, but it would be so cool if a tank would have like a cloud connection to a satellite, and you have a satellite over Ukraine or like Russia, and it sends you real-time information into your tank, and then your tank just does everything automatically. Oh, target lock, boom! And you're like, oh, whoa, the AI just was shooting, oh, we hit someone. And they do everything for you, man.
Designed as a concept of the latest generation MBT of the Abrams, rather than an extension of the Abrams tank family. The K51 is armed with a Rheinmetall Future Gun System, FGS, and optimized sensor-to-shooter links. This FGS is equipped with a 130mm...
Imagine that's your job, man. What do you do for a living? I work in a bureau. What's your job? I design tanks and test them, bro.
Smoothbore gun.
What a cool job, though. You just chill in that forest and you test tank designs?
Delivering superior firepower against all current and future mechanized targets.
That sounds fun.
The FGS on the...
I remember when I was young, when I was a kid, I wanted to join Heckler & Koch. I remember I was a young kid and my goal was always to study engineering. I wanted to be an engineer, and I wanted to literally do how do you say in English? I wanted to apply for a job at Heckler & Koch. I remember back in the day, they looked for people. You can go to the website and they look for people. But then I kind of grew up and realized I suck at engineering, and I'm really retarded. Now you're a streamer. Yeah, now I'm much more dangerous.
As well as corresponding practice rounds. Furthermore, with additional armament choices such as the 12.7mm coaxial machine gun, and Hero 120 loitering munition,
I would have done the worst gun ever, man.
Offers precise firepower for long against numerous targets. In contrast,
many people died.
The Abrams XMBT is outfitted with a new XM360 120mm cannon as its primary weapon. However, the XM360, like the smoothbore gun on the KF51,
yeah, fuck you Americans, Germans have better tanks. There you go.
It can fire new mid-range munitions, advanced multi-purpose explosives, and advanced knowledge explosives, or advanced kinetic energy. The cannon incorporates a pepper pot-style muzzle brake at the muzzle to help reduce recoil. Besides that, the Abrams X is also fitted with a coaxial
we humans put a little money into war gear, but you have to with idiots like
Putin. An XM914 30mm chain gun is installed. The Abrams X includes a redesigned armor package on the hull and turret for excellent protection. It also has an active protection system, APS, that can intercept anti-tank guided missiles and other modern contemporary projectiles by deploying and triggering a small warhead at a safe distance from the shielded
But again, will that...
platform
I want to see that in real
using
combat,
a
you know?
shockwave
These
effect.
tests are all nice and stuff,
In
but...
terms of protection, the KF51 Panther has an incredible integrated survivability concept. It features on and off platform sensors combined with active, reactive, and passive protection, as well as a dedicated top attack protection system, or TAPS. The TAPS deflects attacks from above, while the rosy smoke obscurant devices keep the KF51 from enemy sight.
Get all these tests,
In addition to the Panther's digital NATO generic vehicle architecture, NGVA, allow it to develop extra
But I want to test, I want to see something else. I want to see something else. So, right now, the West is sending this to Ukraine. Leopard 2A7, ne? That's the tank that's going to Ukraine now, right? Wait, that's a brand new tank and it's already going... is that the one? A6. Ah. What's the difference? I need something English. Here, let's check this one. 1.5 million. 1 month ago. This guy is going to Ukraine, I think. Right? Is that correct?
This
that guy's
is
going to Ukraine right now.
Talk about main battle tank.
So these Ukrainians better don't fuck this up, man.
Space armor. We will be examining the resultant effects when a projectile is fired on it.
How many pots of gold do you have? Much more than you and your entire family, that's for sure.
The tank, along with the crews inside it, and how they operate as a team to fire at a target.
That you need 4 people, though?
Hunter-killer engagement
couldn't you design it to have less?
We will also look at the parts and specification of the tank, along with the basic
that's the one going to Ukraine.
Process of how it works, and most importantly, how to drive.
I don't think that's an AI voice.
To remain unbiased, we should also talk about the pros and cons of this tank. So, stay tuned, and don't miss a beat.
That's
this
an
Leopard
AI
tank
voice?
is a result of Germany engineering at its best. There was a saying
German engineering,
that if the German engineers had been able to mass produce these Tiger tanks and Panther tanks in 1939, Germany would have won the war. Entering service in
If Germany had this really modern tank in World War II, they would have won the war. This guy already lost me a bit. He seems a bit retarded.
1979, the Leopard 2 was one of the first Western composite armored tanks to see service. It was originally a joint program with the American M1 Abrams after the failure of the joint MBT-70 program between West Germany and America. Well, enough history lessons.
But didn't America steal all our engineers after the war anyway?
Straight to the video.
The Germans are probably also responsible for the Abrams. Let's say that it is.
2A4 was the most common version of the tank, with around 3,500 produced till today. This is the Leopard evolution developed for the Singapore Army. Around 150 or more were produced. Moving ahead is the
Singapore going serious, huh? Who are they going to invade? The fucking sharks?
61 main battle tanks were developed. It is also referred as Leopard 2A4 evolution, which introduced wedge-shaped spaced add-on armor to the turret front and the frontal area of the sides. The frontal heavy third of the side skirts were replaced with a new, stronger
This makes me want to play Millennium Dawn, bro.
Let's remove this frontal armor here as well as this turret cover. Stripping all the covers reveals the Leopard 2A4 inside it.
The Abrams
is very common.
Is pretty much a leopard.
Are refitted
leopard,
with upgrades.
You say leopard.
And some improvements.
Why would you say leopard? It's Leo. There's an O in there.
This
leopard.
is the Leopard 2A6,
English
which
stuff.
includes the addition of the Rheinmetall 120mm 55 smoothbore gun and a number of other changes. One of the major exterior differences is the gun. Let us compare this to the older models.
Who has the better
to understand its gun size.
I think that's the one I was in. I think so. I totally have no idea.
Now
what
let us look at the specification before.
But since it was 10 years ago, I probably wasn't in this bad boy.
This tank has a length of 10.97 meters or 35 feet with gun forward, while it has a width of 3.76 meters or 12.3 feet, slightly bigger than the older models. It has a height of 3.03 meters or 9.94 feet.
10 years ago, hold on. Shut up. Aren't you the guy who just talked shit? I'm not talking to you anymore.
Let's compare this to a person to understand its size. Even more better, let's compare this to this Russian T-90 main battle tank. As you can see, the Russian tank has a lower profile than the Germans' tanks, as well as the American Abrams tanks. It has a crew of 4.
Why do you
need a commander
them?
Sitting almost at the top center.
Uh-huh.
To the left sits the gunner just below the
commander. Then the driver, and who's the 4th guy?
Moving to the extreme right is the loader, and the last crew
That's
member...
not me. Richtungsladschütze. That was me. That was me. It was the dumbest shit ever. You just sit there and he says, load NATO bullet, blah, 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 and you're like, ready, sir? You don't do anything, bro. You just sit there.
With all these additions,
Richtungsladschütze. That was my official rank.
The Leopard 2
my official job in the army.
59.9 tons, and could add a maximum.
But we never did anything. We did it once, like for 5 minutes.
Tons. Let us start from the front.
It jobs for spastics. I was a big spastic.
Inside this section is the left ammunition storage rack just besides the driver. As stated,
the worst thing inside a tank crew is if someone falls. That shit is
gun developed by Rheinmetall.
It can't go anywhere, you know.
This is the main armament of the Leopard tank. It is fitted with a thermal sleeve, fume extractor, and a muzzle reference system. The Leopard 2 typically uses 2 main types of ammunition. This is the high explosive anti-tank multi-purpose round with tracer. This is how it works when fired. The round reaches the target. It detonates, creating a molten metal of hypersonic jet to destroy or penetrate the armor.
The humans are very interested in design that kills, huh? Goddamn.
Piercing, thin, stabilized.
Wait, what's the difference between armor piercing and anti-tank? Huh? Wouldn't I just shoot an armor piercing round at a tank?
Discarding Stabat.
Huh?
When fired, the armor piercing, thin, stabilized, discarding Stabat round leaves discards the protective shells, and the fins gives it a rotational
Oh
spin.
shit, that's some video game
It
stuff.
penetrates around 450 millimeters of rolled homogeneous armor equivalency.
It's a bit more pointy, more piercing. It's like, whereas the anti-tank is more like, BAM! That's what I understand.
2,000 meters or 1.2 miles range. Just besides main artillery
That's
gun
explosive.
is the 7.62 millimeters machine gun. It has a range of around 1,200 meters. While the other one is positioned on top of the roof.
Dude, that's a literally MG42, man. My fucking great-grandpa was shooting that shit.
Let's look inside this modular add-ons. The strategy of this armor.
But we live probably in a military meta where you don't need to design new MGs anymore. MGs are not that important anymore. The MGs we have are probably enough.
An armor-piercing
for the
fin
purpose.
stabilized discarding round.
Do I have 1.6k viewers? What the
Disturb
fuck?
the round flight
I should just watch this shit all day. What the fuck is that view count? You guys have nothing to do?
by this first
Let's
layer
just
of
react to
spaced
military
armor.
equipment all day, making me
And
rich.
minimize
Let's
the
go.
impact on the
Twitch
second
Prime,
layer of
guys.
spaced armor.
What
The
should we
result
watch
is
next?
that this
You wanna
round
watch
will
some war
shatter
footage?
rather than penetrate the whole armor. Interestingly, this not only protects the tank, but also reduces the weight, making the tank more mobile and agile. Reports suggest that a reactive...
It sounds weird, but what I feel a bit sad about is I would love to see them fight in real life. I want to see real life footage of what they're doing and stuff, you know?
could also be placed on top of them to improve protection. Let's move to the top of the tank.
This is all very theoretical.
This is the EMES
especially the
15
newer
telescope,
tanks that are not
usually
out
used
yet.
by the gunner to target the enemy. Moving to the back is the commander periscope.
You want to see World War III? It's probably
This is
fun
the
to watch if
commander
you're into the
independent
military.
panoramic sight, giving him a 360-degree field of view. It is a stabilized glass optical periscope for day and night reconnaissance over long distances. The periscope consists of a third
Yeah, I
generation.
think something you should never forget, yeah, very true, is how experienced is the crew. You have to really, really train the crew, man. Thank you, Rough Cypress, man. I remember, this is all very long ago, 12 years ago, when I was in my tank crew, when I was in the army in a tank division, we only had some people that knew how to handle the tank. We were like 200 soldiers. I remember it was kind of like this. I don't want to fake news. I don't remember much. Like was it Gruppe or Platoon? I forgot. I was like Erster Zug, and Zug means like, I don't know. And we had like 200 soldiers in the bottom. That was like bottom feeders, like me, you know, little idiots. And then you have these people, right? The Oberstleutnant, blah, 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 blah. And I remember only like 20 people knew how to do the tanks, like these people. We didn't know shit. So if there was a real war and they fucked these 20 people, the under 200 didn't know shit. We didn't know anything, man. You know, we couldn't have done anything. And I think you should teach the whole platoon, man. It's probably platoon, company? I don't know.
Attica thermal imaging
You should teach
device.
everyone. And it was only old guys, very old men. Like they were between 40 and 50. That were the
Let's
tank
see
guys.
how this works. Step number 1. The Leopard has a hunter-killer engagement capability.
As a soldier in the Danish army, I wouldn't like to see World War III. Don't be over. You're gonna give up in like 2 weeks anyway. Thank you, Piffin. Thank you, man. Thank you.
The commander
How you
uses a
doing?
panoramic sight with thermal imager to search for targets. Once the target is selected, the gun is laid on the target automatically.
Automatically.
Step number 2. Loader loads the desired shell as ordered by the
Surely you have to load it before, man.
Step number 3. So once the tank commander got to the right neighborhood, the gunner could actually get directly on target with better sights. Make sure that windage and elevation were factored and then take the shot.
Still better graphics
The
than
gunner
Emperor
completes all
Rome.
the aiming and firing process. During that time, commander looks for the next target. Let us move to the back of the tank. These are the radiator of the engine. This tank is powered by an MTU MB873501 turbo.
If I was Russia, I would just try to steal the schematics of this engine and copy it or something.
Developing 1500 horsepower.
1500, holy shit.
All that power is
Almost
being
as much as my
powered by these
BMW.
internal fuel tanks, carrying around 1,200 liters or 317 US gallons.
Alter, that's a lot.
This gives the tank an operational range of 340
Not bad,
kilometers or
not bad.
210 miles, with a maximum speed of 68 kilometers
That's
per
not
hour
bad.
or 42 miles per hour.
They probably have these schematics
Let's
already.
look at how the driver turns from
Then why are they
inside
not doing
the tank.
anything with it?
The driver turned it by altering the speed of the right or left gears just close to the engine. To turn to the left,
I found a design flaw. Anyone who knows anything about racing is you should never have a steering wheel with your thumbs in it. Because if you hit a stone or you get a shell hits you, what happens is that that the steering wheel is gonna crack like this and then breaks your thumbs. That's why you see race drivers, they never have their thumbs inside the steering wheel. They always drive like this, because you can break your thumbs. I found the design flaw.
Right or left gears.
I found the flaw. It's a tank though.
The
they could hit a stone and then
the steering to the left, just like the animation here. This increase of speed on the right track helps turn the tank to the left. To turn to the right, driver turns the steering to the right. This increase
You guys are retards. You think the speed matters? Dude, imagine you stand in traffic, and you guys are so dumb sometimes. You stand in traffic, and you have your steering wheel like this. Someone hits your front right wheel with 30 kilometers an hour. Your steering wheel is gonna flip, and you're gonna break your thumbs with just 30. Idiots.
The left track helps.
You guys don't know shit, man. I swear to God.
Again, this video will not be possible without discussing the pros and cons. Pros. The Leopard 2 A6 has a powerful 120.
It's a tank though. Yeah,
and can fire
still. You never know all the possibilities,
a
man.
variety of ammunition types, including armor-piercing, high-explosive, and smoke rounds. High level of protection. The tank is heavily armored with space armor, providing excellent protection.
Space armor? Man, where did they got that
including
from?
anti-tank weapons
From
and
the moon?
improvised explosive devices. Good mobility. The Leopard 2 A6 has a top speed.
You know what this reminds me of? You remember when you were a kid and you had these card decks from tanks, and you and your dad will play, I'm playing this tank, he has speed 80. My tank has speed 81. I take your card. You guys remember that shit? The quartet cards? Top trumps? In Germany there are quartet karten. You remember that? And you will have like animals. I'm playing the leopard, man. I'm playing a penguin, bitch.
Around 68 kilometers per hour or 42 miles.
You didn't have that?
And good cross-country mobility.
You're too young.
Allowing it to operate in a wide range of environments. High cost.
With cars, yeah, cars, dinosaurs, yeah.
The Leopard 2 A6 is a very expensive tank at $7 million.
$7 million, man. Actually, I thought it's more
with a
expensive.
high per unit cost. that
7
makes it
million is not
difficult
that
many
much for like a
countries to
government.
afford comparing it
Elon
to
Musk can buy like
tank.
100 of these.
It costs around $4.5 million. Heavyweight.
My
The
dad was
tank
never
weighs
home
around
to play
62
games.
tons, which can limit its deployment options and make it more difficult to transport. Limited
to
crew
transport.
situational awareness.
Oh.
The tank crew has limited situational awareness due to the tank.
It reminds me of how to lose when a guy's
which can make
behind
it
you
more
just
difficult to identify
killing your
and
tank
engage
with one
targets
little
in
strike.
certain situations.